Welcome back into Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty. Happy Wednesday morning. The Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2021 will be empty. Not that there were not any qualified candidates to enter the best Hall of Fame in sports, the Baseball Hall of Fame. Our next guest got the closest, over 71% of the vote. You need 75%. Curt Schilling, formerly of the Diamondbacks, Phillies, and Boston Red Sox, came less than 4 percentage points away from that 75% threshold needed for enshrinement on his 9th year on the ballot. He dreads this time of year, every single winter. Joining us now, the greatest postseason pitcher in Major League history, 11-2 in the postseason, the great Curt Schilling, who should be in the Hall of Fame for my money.
That's
Curt,
very nice. Thank you.
It's great to have you on. Thanks for being with us. You know, I heard you say before the vote that you knew this was going to happen. How'd you know that?
I know. I'm 54 years old. I know people, and I know particularly well the people that were voting, and what kind of people they are. And this was exactly how I expected it to play out. So.
It's the Baseball Writers Association. Your name was left off. 14 ballots were completely blank. And my thought is, if you leave the ballot blank, you should no longer be given a ballot.
Well, if you leave the ballot blank in a year when 30-some% of the voters vote for 10 players, there should be no second chance for that. If you're a voter that votes for one player, if you're a voter that voted for a player who only got one vote, you should lose your ballot. I mean, this is not about picking the best players that ever played the game. And that's no disrespect. The guys that are in deserve to be in. There are guys on this ballot like Scott Rowland who should be in, Omar Vizquel and Todd Helton and Andrew Jones. But this is not about picking the best players. This was a lot of different things. I mean, we're talking about an electorate, by the way, and I'm going to throw a couple numbers, statistics at you for you to chew on. 85% of sports editors are white. 82% of reporters are white. 80% of columnists are white in the sports market. 90% are male. It's a white, male, liberal, college-educated group of men passing judgment on me. Yeah, and I know that. I saw them work. I saw them at my locker night after night. I played 22 years, and you can make an argument. I played with and against thousands of players. Not a single player, not a single clubhouse guy, umpire, coach, fan, anyone has ever made a claim that I said something racist, transphobic, homophobic, any phobic ever.
Curt, I think that argument is just, it's foolish. People forget. I was watching it live. 2004, George Bush running for re-election. You're on Good Morning America. At the tail end of the interview, you said, vote Bush. And the look on the host's faces.
Charles Gibson, it was literally that pregnant pause. It was like 10 seconds long. He's looking at me like,
he was like,
wait,
okay,
what just happened?
We'll be right
And I said, I listen, that was the crux. That was the nexus. That was the foundation of everything.
It wasn't Trump. That's what started it. My wife's from New Orleans.
Absolutely what started it.
My wife is from New Orleans. Her parents have taken me to that World War II museum. It's the best in the country. I read somewhere that one writer a year ago, you were on the board of the World War II museum down in New Orleans. It's the best World War II museum in the country by far. This writer said because you have, quote, Nazi stuff, he's not going to vote for you. So let's put that into context. You have World War II memorabilia, you have stuff from Germany, from Great Britain, from Japan, and you have American memorabilia as well. Much of it is actually in this museum. So if they do their homework, they would know that.
I have General Bernard Montgomery's beret from the Second World War. I have stuff from General Patton. I have most of my collection. A lot of it resides in the D-Day Museum. But this was a young woman from the Boston Globe and who came out to write an article about my collection, but not my collection. And she came, and it's happened to me a couple different times, and you think I would have learned by now. But the ignorance she displayed in what she wrote, and I wrote to her afterwards, I was ashamed. Like, I come from a family that served. My whole family, that's what I wanted to do when I was young before I played baseball. I've been on 2 tours in the Middle East with the USO. The military in America I wear my heart on my sleeve for all of those things. It's literally like calling the father of a Jewish child an anti-Semite. Like well, I mean, it's like calling Donald Trump an anti-Semite.
No, you're a history lover.
Jewish grain. I mean, it's pathetic, and it's wrong, it's ignorant, and it's embarrassing.
By the way, none of this has anything to do with 216 wins, 3,116 strikeouts, 11-2 in the playoffs. I mean, the numbers, Curt, you're a Hall of Famer. The numbers speak for themselves. I'm showing a graphic right now, just so the folks at home know what's going on here. I was at Game 1 of the '04 World Series. I remember when you wore that bloody sock. I mean, that alone. By the way, it's ironic. ironic. The Sox in the Hall of Fame, but Curt Schilling is not in the Hall of Fame.
But I've now, and I kind of kick myself for not doing this sooner. I've now removed them from ever having the ability to meaningfully judge me again.
So take us through that. You wrote a letter yesterday. You posted it on your Facebook. You no longer you don't want to be eligible next year. Your 10th and final year. You want the Veterans Committee to do this. Take us through that.
I will not participate regardless of the Hall of Fame's decision. I can guarantee myself to not get voted in by the writers if I choose to. But the fact of the matter is I asked them to take me off the ballot, and at their next meeting, they'll consider it. There would be no reason to have me on the ballot because if I got elected, I would not participate in the ceremony. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm not one for empty rhetoric.
If the Veterans Committee votes you in, will you partake? Because the Veterans Committee will vote you in.
Well, it's the players.
Right.
I mean, it's players. I mean, how much more valid can it be than to be judged by your peers, which, in all honesty, given the way we've watched the voting happen, they voted. They made it clear. They lied. There were writers that lied about not voting for me because of my tweet where I apparently was supporting violence at the Capitol. That tweet that I supported the protest of a fraudulent election went out January 6th. These ballots were submitted December 30th.
Yeah,
and I had right there. But the fact of the matter is this: I will no longer. They will never ever have an impact on my life in a way that will determine something that matters to me. And
when you were a kid, you said that you wanted to win the Roberto Clemente Award and you wanted to win a World Series. That award for sportsmanship, community involvement. You've been involved in every town you've been in, particularly in the city of Boston. You won that award. Why not let the veterans put you in? The guys that you played with, the guys in the clubhouse.
And let me be very clear about something. And I absolutely don't talk about this, and I hate to mention that two players in the history of the game have, in a sense, swept the off the field stuff from a humanitarian award perspective. Jamie Moyer and I, and many of these same people that voted for me for those awards and are knowingly lying about me publicly are the same people that said they weren't going to vote for me because of my character. And the fact of the matter is this: you guys know this. This has become, along with a lot of liberal media, this has become a scenario in which they want to be a part of the story instead of report the story.
Well, you fit right into the current narrative. We want to cancel anybody who speaks. I remember it was a year or two ago. You had a T-shirt on, and it was Rope Tree Journalist, right?
I didn't have that. No. I didn't. It wasn't me wearing that T-shirt.
Oh, it wasn't? Were you with somebody?
No, it was. I commented on someone. It was a meme. Someone had made the picture.
It was a meme. There it was.
And listen, that I've said before, it was the wrong format to post it was a conversation at the time, ongoing about, and I was remarking on the fact that the media had committed suicide. They had killed themselves.
And right now there's 74 million people that feel disenfranchised, don't trust the government, don't trust the media. Kirk, I saw that whenever it happened a couple years ago. You know what I did? I scrolled and I chuckled and I kept scrolling.
Because you're an adult.
Yeah, people.
Because you're a rational
Everybody's
adult.
so sensitive these days.
Well, but again, there's no writer that could tell you that I have this preponderance or a love of lynching, or that I ever threatened to lynch anyone.
Let's talk about the current Hall of Fame ballot. So you got just over 71% of the vote. There are people on there that are one of these people, Roger Clemens, another former Red Sox. He had an impact on your career when you were a younger guy.
And it kills me.
And you defended him.
I was one of the last guys in the major leagues defending Roger.
Should the Rocket and Barry Bonds be in the Hall of Fame?
I wouldn't vote for either. No, I wouldn't vote for anybody that I know cheated. So, and it hurt. It doesn't make me feel good to say that, because if I were to ever stand at the podium and speak, part of it would be Roger was a major factor in that. But I mean that's my personal opinion, and but he was a Hall of Famer, I think, before, and same with Barry. I think Barry was a Hall of Famer before he cheated as well. The fact of the matter is, I'm crushed by the fact that two guys who did cheat and then lied about the cheating and attempted to destroy the lives of people who helped them cheat. I'm in the same conversation with those men.
Yeah.
I've never done anything remotely close to any of that.
No, geez, you were against it. You spoke out for Roger Clemens. What about somebody like Pete Rose, who I know you're also close with? Hall of
Love
Famer?
Pete. No, I played with guys that were, in a sense, degenerate gamblers. There is no line in the sand for those people. There's no doubt in my mind Pete bet on his team to win and lose as a player and as a coach, and that's the one thing. I mean that poster is on the locker room door of every clubhouse you enter as a professional athlete, from rookie ball to the big leagues. And it's sad because I love Pete. And I think you can't tell the story of baseball without Pete Rose.
Curt, I say this honestly. I know that you dread this time of year. I've heard you mention that before. I'm originally from the Boston area. I know what your wife's going through right now, and I know that she wants this for you. How much more difficult does that make it?
Well, that's why we're walking away from the process. I'm not going to. This was the first year I'd ever seen, and it got personal. There were writers who knew us, who are friends of our family, who have been in my home, who knew my wife incredibly closely, and were part of my young career, who have despised President Trump so much that they would say things, malicious things they know are lies. And she was hurt by it. My kids were hurt by it. I'm not going to do that anymore. I have never done anything to deserve that. And they sure as hell don't. So I'm walking away with my head held high. I haven't lost a night's sleep I've made a lot of mistakes, and I'll make a lot more, but never have I been any of the things that they claim.
We all have, Curt. You're not alone there. You were a Trump supporter in 2016. He's going to be 78 in 2024. If he's on the ballot, will you support him again?
He's not going to run again.
You don't think
there's no way he runs? No. I think he ends up. Well, if he's smart, he'll go buy CNN and fire everybody, and then I'll get a job doing sports at CNN. Or he'll create his own social network or whatever. He'll be I would like to see him form a party. Because the Republican Party, this is not the Republican Party I grew up with, and the Democratic Party that is in the White House represents and stands for nothing that I find in my Constitution, and is repulsive in every possible way.
Curt Schilling, we appreciate your time. I noticed the hat you're wearing. You've never stopped fighting. I know you won't stop fighting now. Thank you so much.
Hey, listen, thank you guys, and you guys keep fighting the good fight. I know you guys are getting your asses beaten left and right from social media, but you're one of the few places Americans can turn, and I think you're seeing the ratings reflect that, and I don't think that that's going to change if you just continue to be honest and stay true.
Curt, I appreciate that very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Talk to you soon. All right, you're watching Wake Up America. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.